Brune, Prince of Dale, has fled into the wilds, his mind troubled by the turbulent worlds and his own place within it.
Hello, Your Highness?
What do you want?
What do you want of me, Pineleaf? Have you come to mock me again, or to shame me before my mother and my brother? Look around you. Beyond Dale's walls, our kingdom hangs by a thread. We say the Easterlings are our vanquished foes, and yet they roam freely through the Dale lands. We say many things that are wrong. My friend has shown me such, and my eyes are open now. He has shown me how much I could accomplish if I were king instead of bard. I see that mocking look in your eye. You think me a child. You disbelieve me. Come with me, then, and you'll meet him for yourself. Then he can explain it. Oh, he does so much better than I do. Your friend. This can't be good. It is peaceful out here in the wilds. This is the only place where I can clearly think. Dale is in ruins. My brother knows not how to rule. Those who attacked this town did us a favor. Yes, I see a different future if I were king. One of these sees a partnership between Dale lands and the north. Dale could become the most powerful empire in the north. My friend agrees with me. I have learned much from being a ruler. Yes, about being a ruler. Yes. I have learned much of the East and of Hrun. There is great powers in Hrun. Yes, and now we are close to my friend. I will explain these truths to you. Bryn, why have you brought this hobbit here? Ashkir? This warden has only tried to kill me. Yes. Do not worry, Ashkir. Pineleaf was only misguided. Well, keep your distance, hobbit, and I will hold my quarrel with you. Ashkir, explain to Pineleaf your ideas of uniting Dale and Hrun. There is no time for that now. We must complete your training. Take this blade. Take it! You know what you must do with it. Ashkir, is there no other way? I need more time. After all I have taught you, and you ask this of me? There is no more time. Ah! What's going on? Something's not good. The Weeping Warrior, Ashkir, served his purpose. As did you, Warden. You came north as I knew you would. You followed the course I set. Schmog, Skatha, Fingar, Hrimil, Thostir. Ooh. That cannot be good. I found the Weeping Warrior. For good or ill. More likely ill.
Who was that?
Who was that? That deadly creature. What had Ashkir to do with him? And why did it sound as if he were taking orders from him? Tell me, Pineleaf. Ashkir would take orders from nobody. He was a wise and... Oh, what a fool I've been. And to think he has near convinced me to kill my own brother. Did you see? He gave me the knife to do it with. Bah! I can barely look on the awful thing. What sorcery did Ashkir cast upon me? What shall I do? Flee in exile and never return? No. Go back home. Confess what happened. And we'll do what we can to repair it. That is the thing that most terrifies me, Pineleaf. And so, it must be the brave and right one.
Though I can barely face my family right now, I know that we should return.
And tell them of Rustman, and what evil deceits he is capable. Of Rustman. Oh, there is rust everywhere. I have returned with your brother, your majesty.
I am glad to hear that my brother is no longer in danger.
It will take longer to forgive him, but I am sure that I shall. Much like the rebuilding of Dale and of Lake Town. It is hard work and long, but we know it must be done. Are you feeling better?
It is hard to believe that my brother has forgiven me.
Or that he ever shall. I even told him about the knife. Now, I must do all I can to make up to him. Ah, what a fool I was. It is bitter, and I'm ashamed, but I must hide it from I must hide from unpleasant truths no longer. I think at least one thing is settled for the moment, but this weeping warrior is going to be a real thorn in our side.
I?
You have unraveled one more troubling scheme, Pineleaf, one that ran perilously close to my own blood. For that I thank you, and yet, the weeping warrior still in the root.
I am no expert in dragons. I know some who are.
Why is it then that I cannot stop thinking of the riddle of the dragon bones you told me of in the long lake? And now you tell me that this Karazgar appeared holding a dragon's tooth? Although dragons play no small part in the history of the Dale Lands, we know remarkably little about the beasts. The dwarves, however, they have long memories, and I know that dragons figure largely into their own histories. I think you should make your way to Erebor, Pineleaf, and learn what you can about the dragon bones and their teeth, and what this man of rust might be after. I don't know what it's after either, but I can tell you one thing for sure. It is something of no good. So therefore, I think I need to finish up with a few things with the Easterlings in the camp. Then we can go to Erebor. Hello there, I am back and I've taken care of several wolves.
At last, one who will listen.
The wolves will fall back into the deep trees and not bother us. At least for a spell. Thank you, Pineleaf. And I have here several potsherds. Hopefully some of them will be useful in your quest.
Let us share in speech together.
Ah, yes. I knew it would be true, and yet somehow what you found still fills me with wonder. I may only hope that our condition improves here, and that I may tour this valley and see these sights for myself. Thank you, Pineleaf. And finally, here are some berries and some firewood that I found.
Hear me, friend.
You have done what I could not ask of you. Your help and humility are beyond reckoning, Pineleaf. There we go. And that completes my work with the refugees. And that means it is time to head to Erebor. Erebor, the Lonely Mountain, one of the great dwarf kingdoms, and the Hall of Thorin II. Or is it Thorin III? Thorin the something! Well, we will find out what enumeration he is, and I could start to properly count kings. But first, I need to get there and maybe even find some links. I believe I was to start hunting these things. I wonder if we're getting close enough to where he described. No, that looks a bit big for a lynx. Let's see if I can find some smaller cats around here. I haven't seen any lynx around here yet. They might be stealthy or something. Perhaps I'll run into them while I'm doing quests for these dwarves here, because If there's any constant that there is within the world of men, elves, dwarves, and even hobbits, it is that they are going to be sending me out on quests. Ooh. I think I found a lynx. Hello? Well, maybe throwing first and asking questions later is probably not the best tactic for making friends, especially when you're on a quest to hunt them down. Ah. Alright, well. I wonder if this lynx is related to Will and Whisker. No, I think we're a little bit too far east for that. But he is a tough one, isn't he? There you go. I'll probably find a few more of these here or there. But as I said, likely I'll run to many more as I head out on doing my quests. And here are the stairs into Erebor. Yes, stairs. Not one of my favorite constructions. Here we are at the gates of Erebor. And there's some dwarves around here. Let's see if we could find someone who knows anything about dragons and their history. Hello there!
Stay a moment. Hear my words.
You there! Hold! Do you know anything about this mischief? I just got here. No? If that is the doing of those stout axes, then King Thorn shall hear a piece of my mind, and then some. He may trust them, but I do not. Take a look for yourself. I am right, am I not? Well, let's see. What is it that we've got here? Oh? Rust. Well, Weeping Warrior. The old axe seems lodged into the stone. And yes, rust. Karazgar again. Now what's this?
In a time of quiet, when the new king, Dain the First, thought all safe, when the men of the Eotheod were off at war, then the dragon struck, and much was lost.
Ah yes, much was lost to the dragons. And that's what I want to know. It looks like the work of one known as the Weeping Warrior Karazgar, and he is a bit of a pain.
All is well, and yet not all.
Never heard of that name, Karazgar? I know I would remember it if I had. This Karazgar would be from Mordor, or Amaren's hen, egg, and so are those stout axes. Perhaps they know something of this mysterious figure. Why don't you speak with Uruk and learn what you may? Alright, I guess I could speak with Uruk and see what is going on here. And that would be up here. And we also have Gandalf. Uruk or Gandalf. Or maybe even another dusty page.
Where dwarves toil tirelessly, dragons sleep. What dwarves have mined and wrought, dragons steal. What dwarves barter and bestow, dragons hoard. Truly, they are our natural foes.
I take it that dwarves don't like dragons. Hello there, Gandalf!
At last you arrive. I have been waiting for some time.
Yes, well, I actually ran into Karazgar. Yes, and he's been leaving a trail of rust all over the place. Yes, I've been waiting here for some time. Althea arrived before you did, and he told me all about your exploits in Lake Town. Perhaps if you spent less time carousing at taverns and more time writing, you would not have kept me waiting so long in the cold. Carousing! Ah, wizards. You and Althea are not the only recent arrivals in the Lonely Mountain. You will find a number of old friends inside, each of them brought hither from concern. Find them on the way to the throne of the hall under the mountain, and you may learn their purpose matches your own. One more thing, Pineleaf. In these lands, I am known as Gandalf, not as Mithrandir. Let it not confuse you. Well, I've been known to call you Gandalf on occasion, so I can go back to it. Yeah, I don't have to worry about calling him Mithrandir anymore. Yay! Ah, hello there, Urug. We seem to have a situation here. I was wondering if you've ever heard of someone known as the Weeping Warrior.
Greetings, friend.
Ah, Vigeland sent you, did he? Yes, the Weeping Warrior. That he is called. One of the Gurzel, I never set eyes upon him, but tales of his wicked deeds are told by the stout axes. A cruel assassin, a spy, and tamer of beasts. He enslaved dragons for the Dark Lord, it is said. Oh, yes. He did want to do that with Schmog, that's for sure. So the question is, what can we do about him?
Greetings, friend.
Now, what did you say your name was? Oh, Pineleaf, yes. Ah, that's the one. Gimli, son of Glowing, asked you for my name. He has gone before the king under the mountain and wishes for you to join him at once. He said it was a matter of great urgency, but would tell me no more of it. I wonder if he has anything to do with those short-bearded dwarves that returned with him. That is not a matter for me, I think. You'd best not keep Thorin and Gimli waiting. All right, I shall have to go inside. Obviously, it must be Thorin the Third. All right. See, I need to keep those numbers straight. Now, was I supposed to speak with someone along here? So far, nobody is interested in speaking with me. Hopefully I'll run into them by the time I get to the throne. Visitors. Visitors. Here's some visitors. We have Dory, and Dwalin, and Glowing. Hello there. Hello, Dory, how have you been?
My travels do not bring me home very often.
Yes, for Dayan has made the mountain's chief hoard seeker. I am often away, wandering in the wilderness in search of lost dwarf holes and treasure caches. Many are the gold and jewels I have found to swell Erebor's treasuries, but the fading craft skill of my people means they languish within, unimproved and unused. What a terrible pity! Should the Arkenstone be taken from the tomb of Thorin? Would that restore the craft skill of my people and enable them to create great works such as they did of old? I once thought so, but I set aside that belief when my younger brother Ori departed with Balin. The argument filled me with sadness, and I had a job to do. I could not dwell upon the grief. Perhaps the decline of my people could not be prevented, Arkenstone or no. I am pleased to see my friends and kinsmen, but I do not think we can recapture the glories of old. What do you say, Dwelling? How are things in Thorin's Hall?
It has been some time since we have all gathered here.
It does my heart good to see my friends and distant kin, despite the worries that drew us here. I wish my brother was with us. Balin believed, as did many good dwarves, that it had been a mistake for the Arkenstone to be entombed with Thorin. He thought the heart of the mountain should be proudly displayed for all to see, and its brilliance will inspire great works of craft and beauty. As the craft skill of Durin's folk began to wane, the research Balin conducted convinced him that sealing away the Arkenstone was to blame. He quarreled with Dain on the matter, and this disagreement caused the king to remove him as counselor. It was the last injury, and compelled Balin to leave. He took Ori and Oin, as well as many other dwarves, and they sought to reclaim the ancient dwarf home of Khazad-dûm. Well, that didn't work out too well. I did not side with my brother on this. I remained loyal to Dain. He elevated me to the position of steward of Thorin's Hall, but not a day passes where I do not miss my brother and wonder if I should have gone with him. But now Balin is gone, and Khazad-dûm is lost. I hope you have something less gloomy to say, Glowing.
I prefer when things are simple.
Yes, should we not have entombed the Arkenstone with Thorin? It seems the right course back then, and no one argued against it. If the craft skill of my people is fading, who is to say it would be any different if the Arkenstone were not sealed away? Bah! Let the wise beers discuss it among themselves. Balin believed the Arkenstone should be removed from Thorin's tomb, and he was the wisest of us. But he is dead. Now this weeping warrior, that is a subject more to my liking. I say we find him, let our axes and hammers do the talking, and give him something to cry about. Nice and simple. I may not solve everything, it may not solve it, but I wager it will not hurt. Not us, anyway. Not us, anyway. What do you got to say about that, Gandalf?
I do not know what has caused this decline, but I see some possibilities.
Yes, nor do I know whether entombing the Arkenstone with Thorin Oakenshield is to blame for it. But my suspicion is that it is not. There is another possibility, and in it I seek the workings of our enemy. What if the Arkenstone has been taken from the tomb of Thorin without the knowledge of the dwarves? It may be that the Arkenstone no longer lies with Thorin Oakenshield, and its departure has adversely affected the skills of Durin's folk. The tomb must be opened, Pineleaf, if we are to ensure that the Arkenstone remains within. We must ask King Thorin III for permission to do that. So we need to speak on Thorin III on a couple of things. Is the Arkenstone still there? Has it been taken? Or perhaps it's still there and something else is to blame? Or is the Arkenstone the powerful artifact that is being sought for? We may have an answer for this in the next episode of Pineleaf in the Northern Kingdoms.